Padres and the Twins, a rare series, a rare visit, or it's not going to be that rare anymore because every 2 years the Padres are going to be at Target Field, but the Padres are playing their first game tonight in Minnesota against the Twins since 2017. Carlos Asuaje, Yangervis Solarte, they were in that lineup, and I think Will Myers was hitting fourth. So good thing the roster has changed a little bit there. Andy Green was the manager. And now the Padres, they visit one of their former managers, Jace Tingler, who is Rocco Baldelli's bench coach there in Minnesota. So Padres Twins tonight, 4:40 is the first pitch. Michael Wacha on the mound for the Padres. This last time through the rotation, if I recall correctly, I mean, pretty much everyone had solid starts. Snell, Musgrove, Darvish over the weekend. Wacha, yeah, the ERA doesn't look great, but he had a bounce back outing, I believe, against Cincinnati. And then the Twins on the other side, they're going to have Louis Varland throw. He has a 5.91 ERA. I'm not going to act like I know a ton about him. Adam Engel, I think, is the only Padre that has ever faced Varland, and Engel's obviously not in the lineup. So the Padres are basically going to be going off of video here. The lineup change is interesting. You got Croney, he's hitting second. The 1 through 4 is usually Tatis, Manny, Soto, Bogaerts. That's not what it is. 3 of those 4 are. But it's Tatis, then Croney, then Manny, then Soto, and then Bogaerts. He's hitting 5th. And then Carpenter's DHing, Kim's at second, Grisham center, and then Nola is catching for Michael Wacha. Varland's a righty. So maybe you're like, well, shouldn't Brett Sullivan be catching then if we're basing it off of matchups? And I would not blame you to think that. Maybe Sully ends up getting in, or they just want him to catch the day game in that series finale. Although, well, no, they'll probably have Sullivan catch tomorrow because I think Darvish is pitching the series finale against Minnesota. But anyway, Minnesota, they're a good team. I wouldn't say they're definitely not like on the Rays level or the Braves level, teams like that. But they have a winning record. Their pitching staff has been pretty darn good this year. There's some hit and miss in the lineup, that's for sure. So Underdog Fantasy, I'm going to go higher on the Michael Wacha strikeouts today. Joey Gallo is definitely someone that can strike out. Carlos Correa has gotten off to a slow start this year. Byron Buxton can strike out. I love watching Byron Buxton play when he's on the field, and so it's kind of a bummer that he's not really playing the field very much now. I'd rather have him, in the lineup every day. If I'm a Twins, just speaking from the Twins' perspective, I'd rather have him in the lineup every day DHing, which is what the Twins are doing. He's not playing center field, really anything. He's just not. They want to limit the wear and tear on him, so he's DHing. But he has a lot of strikeout in him. Carlos Correa, so far this year, really slow start. The batting average is pretty darn low. Christian Vasquez, Padres wanted him in the offseason. He's not doing so well offensively. I think he's hitting 8th in the order for them today. But he's still doing better than Austin Nola. And Vasquez, his OPS plus is well below league average, I believe. I was looking at that yesterday. Nola is like way worse. Vasquez, I think his OPS plus is in the 60s. Nola's is in the 30s, I think. So that just shows how bad Nola has been. But hopefully the Padres don't have to rely on guys at the bottom of the order today, and it's going to be the top of the order coming through. And I'm interested to see how Croney does in the 2-hole and how Soto does in the 4. He has not hit. I was looking at Darnay Tripp. He posted something on Twitter today about Soto, and I think he hasn't hit in the 4 spot since like 2020. So we'll see what happens there. I know he likes hitting third, but Bomel is changing it up, and I guess it's a lineup thing. It's a matchup thing. I don't know if it's necessarily like, well, I want to get Croney in the 2-hole. I don't want Soto hitting third anymore. Maybe it's just a matchup thing, and they're just trying something new. I mean, remember that Cubs game on the road at Wrigley? I think it was the series finale. They had Manny. Where did they have him? It was not in a regular, I think hitting 5th, like the lowest that he had hit on the Padres. They were changing that up, and Manny had some better swings that day. So we'll see what happens with the lineup. But I can't wait for this series. I mean, I have family in Minnesota, so hopefully the Padres can win this series so I can rub it in their face. But no, I mean, I want to see this team against another good ball club before they have to go face the Dodgers starting off on Friday. So we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Minnesota, and then 3-game series against the Dodgers.